Welcome back, everybody, to Dandrew. It's that time of day where we talk about our apprehensions about Infinity War.
In the MCU.
Yeah,
in general. So,
my head hurts.
people...
I don't know if that's because of caffeine content or dehydration.
Okay.
Or this movie. But all I know is yes.
You have the caffeine stone
I have
that you have collected. And you're gonna, with the flick of your...
I want to see half the universe wired and half of it destroyed.
So how, that's the other question I have, is how much of what they're building up is actually based on comic book stuff? Was the half the universe thing a real...
I don't know.
Okay.
Here's the problem with this, is I only know of bits and pieces about the rest of the greater MCU.
I can
or
see
not the
why...
greater, not even the greater MCU, like the Marvel canon as it is. And
Yeah.
I've only ever focused on small pockets, like Deadpool.
Sure.
And there's so much to it.
Yeah.
And I know that there's the Infinity Gauntlet series,
which they've been hyping up.
They've been hyping this up. This is probably drawing a lot off that.
Okay.
And I don't know. I mean,
obviously they do some form of twist on what's been done in the comics, but we know they can't do that because I know that Thanos dies via Magneto crushing him with his helmet. And unless this has a really surprising ending, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But
I'm pretty sure they can't bring in the X-Men on this one.
My issue, a lot of people are excited for this movie. I feel like we are going to watch it out of requirement.
We have to. I mean, if we don't, we'd be doing a disservice to the fact that we're a primarily superhero centric channel.
For one, we review them. For two, I watch a lot of reviews.
Yeah.
And I want to know what they're talking about.
Right.
And I want to have my own opinions going into it with their opinions, primarily Red Letter Media. But for the most part, I just want to get what we're all talking about, just so I understand the conversation. But in terms of what I actually think's going to happen, I think they only have a couple of routes, and none of them are very interesting.
Yeah.
Can you think, so Dan, you're going to try to predict the future now.
I'm going to try.
It's next week.
It's next week.
We're sitting down in the movie theater. The movie starts playing. How do you think this all plays out? How do you think it ends, mostly?
I think... Well, okay, here's the big thing I want to know. Because is it one part or two?
It's not technically part one and part two because there's another Avengers film coming out a year after this one, but they haven't announced the title for it. Which means that it is a very instant continuation because they're filming them at the same time. And, originally Infinity War was going to be part one and part two. Then they said, never mind, and combined it. Now they're saying, no, Avengers 4 will come out only 1 year after 3, which usually Avengers films have 3 years in
3
between.
or 4 years.
So this is a very, sudden, here we go.
They're really doling them out, guys.
Yeah. And I think on top of that, there's already a problem with marketing because of the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer.
Yeah.
So it's we know the world, for the most part, is still there after this.
It's
because we know what movies are coming out after.
Exactly. Your suspense is already kind of neutered because it's we already know what the schedule is.
And on top of that, even if there wasn't a trailer, does anyone actually think Thanos' plan is going to work and he's just actually going to wipe out half the planet?
I personally...
That'd be kind of cool.
I'm kind of wanting to see, if the next Avengers is a two-parter to this, Avengers Infinity War Part 1, everyone except Doctor Strange dies. First 5 minutes of Infinity War Part 2, Doctor Strange just reverses time. It's all right, come on, we gotta fix this.
He can reverse the state of objects.
He's you get one respawn. Okay?
So he goes to a maggot-filled Tony Stark corpse and just...
He gives maggot-filled Tony Stark corpse a quarter that says... 1 extra life.
Oh no! Why not combine every franchise we can now? Yeah. No, but my issue is I think there's
Parzival got a hold of the reality stone.
Yeah, really though. There's a 95% chance of a cliffhanger at the end of this movie because there's going to be a follow-up to it only a year after, which are never that satisfying. Honestly, usually especially with a film that's hyping it up like it is, Marvel's advertising Infinity War like it's the end of something. That's what confuses me. Is they're this started in 2008.
It's not the end of an era.
It's finally the accumulation.
Going.
It's we finally brought all together these great people. And I'm didn't you announce 5 films for 2019? This isn't the end of anything. If anything, it's a couple of actors' contracts run out.
This is like, you're probably not gonna see these particular people again, but even then, you're gonna see them.
Even like who? Do you have predictions on who might not make it out of this?
I imagine Vision will die.
Yeah, that looked pretty obvious by the trailer.
I want to say Captain America, because I feel like he's kind of on borrowed time anyway.
Aren't the 3 OG guys the ones whose contracts are running out? So that's Iron Man, Thor, and Cap.
Probably.
They're all done after this if they want to be.
I feel like Robert Downey Jr. kind of needs this still. Like, he could stand on his own if he wanted to, but I think he really...
I'm not exactly sure who, but I'm going to guess those 3.
I think he soaks up that, like, star power of being able to say, I'm Iron Man. Like,
yes.
I don't know if Chris Evans is the same kind of guy who's like, I'm Captain America.
Right.
You know, like...
He suffers the Harry Potter effect if he wants to go into other works.
Yeah.
People would be like, no, you're Iron Man. And they can't see past that.
To his credit, he had a pretty huge career before Iron Man or anything. It's just it revitalized.
But it's impossible now to not see it.
Kind of.
After 10 years of that character.
Kind of, yeah.
So, I could understand him leaving because it's like, he's been here longer than all of you. Mm-hmm. Give him a break. But I also understand him staying because he has nothing else to do. So it could go either way there.
Yeah.
But we also thought going into Civil War that some people were going to die. And literally no one died.
Yeah. We got pretty close with War Machine.
Right. Like, I was sure he died.
I was sure he was too, because he fell like 10,000 feet.
After getting hit by a laser. But
those Iron Man suits must be really cushioned.
They've got My Pillows on the inside. It's just infinite cushion.
My Pillow's designed to save you from a paralyzing fall in your sleep and out of the sky.
But no, just chronic back pain. Yeah. That's all that would cause. But he's still around. No sign of Hawkeye. I wonder if that's supposed to be an intentional reveal.
Maybe he gets killed off first, which I would be really sad about.
Or what's possible is what happens in Avengers Age of Ultron is they literally hope you forget about the previous films.
Yeah.
That kind of defeats the purpose to be of a universe, because like in Iron Man 3, hangs up the suit, I'm done. Cut to Age of Ultron, oh, he's back, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they do that here and they're like...
Conflicting, right? I don't know, maybe the Russos will manage to be a little bit more consistent than Whedon. Because here's the thing,
different directors. Yeah.
I'm thinking... I want to say that I think... I'm trying to think how to word this properly, because one of the biggest failings I think I had for Joss Whedon's Avengers movies is that Joss Whedon, he has a very clear problem writing certain characters, and I've said this before. Like, I think I said this in the very ill-advised for myself video about why I think Justice League is still a chance, and I forgot. Oh wait, Joss Whedon has to write for Batman.
Right.
Crap. That's not going to work. And just like it doesn't work that he would write for, Captain America, because that's just not who he is.
He didn't get that.
But the Russos, we could say what we want about, I think, the Winter Soldier and Civil War, but
sure.
I think we can definitely say that they kind of get him better.
They're competent filmmakers.
They're competent filmmakers.
Yeah.
The shaky cam calm the hell down, honestly, but that's a gripe with every director. I'm not saying the Russos are bad directors. My thing is, I think too much producer involvement is going to be the problem. Yeah.
Because Russos make good stuff, and I had issues with Civil War and Winter Soldier, but they're still good.
Movies.
They're not bad. They're not movies I'd hate to watch. If they're on, I'd probably sit down and watch them.
They're visually appealing.
Yes, and the characters are doing enough stuff. Like that end scene in Civil War with Iron Man finding out about his parents. That was an emotionally driven fight scene. And I didn't agree with the logic of it, because I was like, Hulkbuster should kill all of you, but...
And not only that, but it's like, okay, no, Tony Stark has had 25 years to cope. He's fine. And he just found out that he was mind-controlled.
Right. I think he could get by. But Joss Whedon also being a fairly competent director when pushed too far with Age of Ultron of, you need to have this in it, you need to have this in it, you need to have...
And even he said, I think, that he tried his best to make an Ultron movie that would satisfy everybody, but even he acknowledged that he wasn't able to do that.
I think that's the running issue I have with Avengers films, is their attempts of being jacks of all trades. Is it's like, we have to make something that...
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Right. This is no one's favorite, but it has little bits of things you like, which does result in the highest box office. So Marvel wins regardless, but my issue, I think, is what's your favorite character in the MCU, you'd say?
Deadpool.
In the Avengers one.
Deadpool.
No. Of the characters.
Okay. Probably you would say Spider-Man.
He won't get much screen time.
Exactly.
So, like,
or Guardians.
Doesn't matter who you pick. Do you like Iron Man the most? He won't get much screen time. Do you like Doctor Strange the most? He won't get much screen time. That's the issue I think they're going to deal with is regardless of how big you may consider a movie, like, oh, this one has all these actors and all these characters, it's still within a 2.5 hour window.
Yeah.
That doesn't change the fact that technically the more characters you put in, the less screen time each of them has, the less involvement each of them has. Avengers I had a little bit of an issue with because I was like, who's really the main character? And it felt kind of like a TV movie, but it was fine. And then Age of Ultron, I think more audiences...
It got intensified.
Right, more audiences were like, why is Thor here? He doesn't have much to do. Yeah. And then this, I think, is going to be exponential. It's going to be like, now literally half of they're going to go all Rose and Finn on certain characters and be like, we need something for them to do, so we're going to send them on some side plot that has nothing to do with the main plot, and it ends up not affecting anything.
Hawkeye's going to get the shaft and something like that.
I wonder if they just don't bring him up. They're just like, nah.
I would laugh so hard if at the end of this Thanos gets killed with an arrow. Like, out of all that, Hawkeye's just like, boom! Save the universe! You're welcome!
Yeah.
From the Paleolithic era.
Do you think Thanos... This is my next problem. Do you think Thanos is going to have good motivations?
Probably not.
Because...
Like, okay, I think that...
that's what I kind of don't like about these bigger, like, collective Marvel films, is it's like they have to have some dumb, stupid, kill humanity villain.
I think there's good villains in the MCU here and there.
Yeah.
I think the problem with like, okay, let's say Loki. Mostly because he has the most development. Like, we've seen him
Charming.
Yeah. He's gone through so much stuff, and, like, the whole reason he's likable is, at least for me, is because he's treading this line between, I'm a terrible, god, and also... I'm kind of sympathetic. Like, hey, I really do care about my brother. I'm just kind of a jag.
Right.
But then you get Ultron, whose primary motivation is I'm an evil AI. And it's like, okay, but
why do you want to destroy the world?
Yeah, I'm going to save it. No, you need to stop. If he had just come out and be like, I think humanity is a plague, and I'm going to stop a problem before it spreads. It's like, okay, I can respect that if you're just open about it. But I hate this whole idea of, like, logic router's bad. Save planet by killing the humans. It's like all Alex Jones sounding.
He went all Ajit Pai on the Avengers.
Yeah.
It was just like, kill nice things. I don't like things that people like. And then, I don't know, personally... We shouldn't be expecting too much story-wise from a plot that just has to focus on getting actors into a 2.5 hour window.
Yeah.
They're just like, and they're in here, and they're in here. That means there's not much time because we've gotten sneak peeks at Ultron, but we really haven't, I mean, not Ultron, Thanos, but we haven't got a
huge concrete,
motivation. Mm-hmm. He wants to wipe out half the world. Why? Balance. How is that balanced? Does the Earth have an unfair advantage against the rest of the universe that we can't put a person on Mars?
Technically speaking, if we're gonna go in the Marvel canon, the Earth totally does.
Okay.
Like, there's this one thing I remember. I just think it's funny. Like, I remember this one thing I read where there was this alien general or something like that saying, "We're gonna attack Earth," and this one advisor's like, actually, they've fought off multiple invasions and Thanos several times over. Keep going anyway, and then they just get spanked.
Are we in the defensive, though?
I mean...
So we just want Earth to not have, I don't understand the whole, And the reason I'm bringing this up is I feel like they're not going to address it.
Okay.
Why does Thanos feel like Earth needs to be more balanced?
I just want to know how there's so many freaking Infinity Stones on one planet. Okay, there's only, 5 or 6... Why are 2 of them on the same rock?
Right, these hold the whole universe together.
You can literally alter the entire fabric of reality with a snap of a finger, and it's just laying there on this rock with a bunch of psychotic apes.
Right.
Did anybody think this was a good idea?
But
I'm blaming Richard.
What is Thanos an alien? And if so,
he's a Titan.
Can't he be killed fairly easily?
If
that's all he is. If he's just a regular organism.
He's not necessarily a regular organism.
Okay.
I mean, okay, he's immortal.
So there's something more mythical about his being.
Somewhat, I believe.
Like you can't shoot him with a bullet. That's all I'm saying.
Probably not.
If you shot him like directly in the head, because it looks like in the trailer,
I think if
walks out of the portal, he doesn't have his helmet on. That would have been like,
look at this now.
You know, wasted. Or like, my issue I think is again the same one I had with Ultron, was that when people rival up against a villain who's just, I don't like humanity, kill all humanity, then it results in us just fighting a bunch of faceless monsters and an army of faceless beings, and then Phantom Menace ending the
whole thing. Then you get Justice League.
Right. Or Ultron. Ultron had the same problem. It was more enjoyable.
I mean, at least
but it was still like,
I can
robots.
I can
kill the robots.
At least I know James Spader's behind the helm
there. That was actually interesting.
I was like, oh, okay, he's having fun.
He was literally his character from The Office.
Okay,
It's the same dialogue.
I don't want quotes. Okay, fictional character. Okay, so he's from Saturn's moon Titan. Oh, wow, he's so close to Earth. What the hell? Why is he so close to the planet?
How did he get there with his rock-powered wheelchair?
I don't even know.
He sits on asteroids and... I don't know. I assume he's in space and he doesn't need to breathe, so there's something more spiritual about it than just... He's some type of god, but I guess he's not a powerful enough god to do any damage, so he needs rocks to do the damage.
Right. I need rocks to smash things. That's a pretty primal urge, I get that.
That's a pretty detailed and intricate villain to fight.
Oh, he's a caveman on steroids. He's an 8.5 foot tall looking.
He's a little more verbally advanced than Hulk.
Yeah, right.
Basically, Hulk just wants to smash things.
Hulk smash! Thanos destroy.
Thanos likes to destroy with rock.
Yeah.
Weapon of choice. So yeah, I mean, plot-wise, what I think's gonna happen is they're gonna all be doing their separate things, and then they're gonna be like, oh no, this portal thing with Thanos came down, and he's in the portal's gonna start doing something weird, like sucking people into it, and they're gonna die. And then the Avengers, big surprise, is going to have to work as a team.
What?
To stop him. So they're gonna have to think of like, oh, we need to get together a crew because I have 90 Iron Man drone suits, but I need a high school teenager with a spider web to help me. Just like Civil War.
I mean, at least Spider-Man has, like, at least he's smart. It's like, okay, he made all this stuff before he was able to do anything, so there's...
We need a Russian ballerina spy with a 9mm.
God, I hate her.
She's still on, like, the poster and everything. I'm like, okay, every movie gets more and more intense. Useless. She serves a purpose. It's just mostly about marketing, I think. Yeah. But it's like, you have this whole... The world just keeps getting more and more threatened every movie, and yet she shows up with a 9mm, and that's supposed to do something.
Give her a 10mm. That thing will really... Fun fact, if you're going to go into bear country, they recommend at least a 10mm.
Thanos is like a bear.
There you go. Take a 10mm to his freaking head. There's a bullet that'll kill him.
So, it looks like a lot of this movie's going to be taking place in Wakanda. Based on the trailer. And I think that's probably, well, I mean, this movie was in production anyway, but they probably saw the success of Black Panther and they were like, more involvement. This movie's all about you now, too. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Vibranium can do whatever they want now anyway, so why can't they just make Vibranium?
I'm interested in seeing what Cap's shield looks like now.
Oh, yeah, like the kind of triangular.
Yeah, it's like, it's a circle! Make your shield a circle!
But it's like, isn't those shields...
How is he supposed to use it as a frisbee?
Is it? Yeah, aren't those shields smaller now? Like,
probably.
To me, I think a larger shield would be more helpful. But
I would say give Cap a gun. He's a soldier. He can shoot things.
So he grew all this facial hair, and everyone has different hair. Is this supposed to take place fairly later?
I assume.
Peter's still in high school, though, so...
Maybe it's been like a couple weeks or something like that.
And he just didn't shave. He just...
I don't
big
know.
old... Are we going to get answers to this?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm predicting if you want to like this movie, if you're hyped for this movie and you're looking at this video saying, no, you guys are wrong, it's going to be awesome, you'll like it.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
If you're convinced by these trailers in the current setup of the MCU...
We've been burned before.
Yeah.
Okay? We used to be like you. We used to think, the trailers are amazing, this movie's going to be great. Then we had Dawn of Justice.
Right.
And then we had Suicide Squad.
Well, even Marvel, I've had disappointments with.
Well, those are the two biggest ones, I think.
Oh, this looks cool, and then watching it and being like...
We need to do a video where we finally just stop talking about Dawn of Justice.
A video where we stop talking.
No,
it can't happen. No, I'm saying, maybe if you're a fan for like a long time, it's like, okay, every time I watch one of these movies... We see the end credits scene, and we go, oh, they're going to do that. And then we get a trailer, and they're like, oh, there's that thing they referenced.
Yeah.
And then the movie happens, and it's like punching robots. And you're like, okay, was that the exciting part?
Meteor! Eastern European meteor!
I had the same impression after Justice League, when they're like, oh, they're going to do Deathstroke or whatever. And I'm like... So we can have another just stupid like action scene where they all work together and stop him again. Like, I don't know. It's just maybe it's too much routine now at this point that when we see a trailer, even though it's got these great visuals.
Didn't you do a video talking about this years ago? It'd be like, the MCU needs to kill people.
Yeah, it needs to have at least sacrifice. See, I'm going through Lost right now.
Oh boy.
That show I think was intelligently designed because people can die on it at any time, and you're not really sure when.
Yeah.
There's loss on that show.
Uh-huh.
There's loss on Lost, if you will.
Dun dun.
Yeah, there's... No. People can... Right. You can... At any moment, it's like, someone might die in this episode. I don't know what's going to happen. With the MCU, even when people die, they just get their own TV show. Yeah. That there's, like, no stakes involved, which means that when something bad's going on, when Cap's holding Thanos' hand, I'm not worried. Because I'm like, well, he might die, but then he'll come back or whatever, or he won't actually die. So when there's no stakes involved, and all you just want are action scenes of them punching millions of faceless aliens
weird
or monsters,
alien things,
you can find that on YouTube, and the best parts of the movie are already in the trailer. So we're just talking about it as a movie, as a story, and seeing that there's really not much interesting that can happen here than...
There's one thing I remember from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like the first season, that pissed me off so much.
That Phil Coulson didn't die?
No. Clark Gregg is a gem. I love him in this show.
He is.
He's probably like the one redeeming thing about that whole entire thing now I look back at it, because I loved Coulson.
Because they plugged a 10-watt brick into his brain and it brought him back to life.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But, like, so one of the characters is, like, extremely skeptical about stuff. Like... The more spiritual things, I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But then, the problem I have with that, it's like, okay, you can't act like something like an afterlife or heaven or hell is so outlandish when you had aliens fall from the freaking sky.
Yeah.
And then she's trying to say all this stuff about, maybe hell's another dimension. Like, no, it's just hell. Okay, there's a man who can turn back time over in East India with a thought.
Well, yeah, but so much happens in... Yeah, this is a growing issue I think they're going to have to deal with, is I know for sure Infinity War is not going to have any references to the Netflix originals.
Yeah.
But
God, I would love to see that season of Punisher.
Yeah, it takes place in New York, though. So right now, the directors and the writers of the Netflix originals, they're looking at the Infinity War trailer and they're going... How are we going to write this into our thing?
Yeah.
So, the world's ending in New York, because that's
Frank Castle just defends New York from an alien invasion while Spider-Man just jumps around.
Daredevil will hear Thanos and then punch him and bring out some nunchucks. And
I imagine that fight would just be like Thanos taking all this damage and just being like, well, that was weird, and walks off. It's like, doesn't even want to deal with it. Like, whatever.
But, like... Each one of those seasons now, between Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Daredevil, they're all going to have to try to work in how this Infinity War thing plays out, where they all just go outside, see Thanos, and go, well, we're useless. guess we'll hide in a basement. And then that's
like, at least I can tell that Jessica Jones just sit down in a bunker and just drink.
Yeah, that's
like that's realistic.
I think you may have just predicted that scene.
I know I did.
She's just gonna be like,
Frank Castle will just be like, I have guns, I'll find something to do. He's like, okay, let's see. That thing looks like it's got a lot of armor. I have a 50 cal I can utilize.
You're already above Black Widow.
Yeah.
You already got more firepower.
Yeah. Like, I know that might doesn't always mean tactically sound, but it's like, no, Black Widow, the 9mm's not going to stop anything.
What would be a twist we're not expecting?
That's good.
That it's really good somehow? Maybe if they just treated a bunch of the extra actors as more cameos and not try to give them plot lines.
Yeah.
End results. I have to pick a prediction. I'm not going to say maybe these characters. Okay. I'm going to say Cap's going to die. Thor's going to die. The rest of the characters are going to stay. It's going to end on a cliffhanger. You're not going to get a wrapped up conclusion. It's going to be, we have to use this super powerful weapon Tony Stark invented, but it might destroy the planet. And then no one wants to use it because it's dangerous. And then they go, launch the Omega 13, whatever you want to call it. And then it cuts to black, and then it's like, will return in this next Avengers film. And then somehow Ant-Man and the Wasp's going to be involved.
They're probably just going to see all this stuff happening and be like, we should probably go there, right? Like, yeah, probably.
I would be upset if no one died. I'd be like,
we all would.
Yeah, but yeah, we're just not seeing the interesting investment we're supposed to have, given everyone lives everything now. There's no stakes.
Right.
And the villain seems to be very juvenile in his motives. Mm-hmm. Kill Earth. Why? Balance. What's not balanced? Just kill. I don't know. Just kill him.
Pretty much.
It looked like a kind of interesting backstory with Gamora in the trailer, where he's like with Gamora as a baby.
There were times, I believe, where Thanos would go from planet to planet and like steal a kid and train them to be his warrior. I think Gamora is one of those, and so is Nebula. But I can't remember if it was there. I think there's more than just those two, though.
Well, vibranium can fix every problem you can ever think of, including Thanos, I'm sure. So, Iron Man, I don't like his new suit. It looks too
You said
wavy.
That you only like the first one the most, right?
Well, I like the Mark I, the one he made in the cave, because it's a real suit. But still, the first movie is my favorite of the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I thought the suit worked. Then they kept changing it. And I was like, stop. Then now they're at like Mark 97. And
I didn't like the design of Iron Man 3 Iron Man's suit.
Which one? There was 90.
The one he wore the most, where it was like mostly tan or gold, and I was like, that looks nasty.
Yeah, I like the original. Just the first one, it was red. He was like, throw a coat of red on there, and it worked.
Yeah.
I was like,
great. Hot rod red in there. We're staying well below the radar, sir.
just keep it like that. And they gotta keep changing it. I'm guessing it's some kind of vibranium powered suit.
I want to know something. Do you think that? Did they make it clear whether Jarvis and Vision are two separate entities, or is it like, no, Vision is still Jarvis?
Has he talked to Jarvis since Vision existed?
I don't know.
Or I think he transitioned over to Karen or whatever.
Friday, I think.
Friday.
But I just want to know, like, could you imagine some of those conversations?
It didn't make sense to me. The AI would still exist on the computer even if you turned it into flesh, but yeah, don't worry, he'll be dead. That'll be their Phil Coulson moment, I think, because Jarvis didn't get his own movie, so then it's not really a sacrifice. Maybe they'll kill Vision.
I was gonna say
they'll be like,
he's Jarvis movie. You could watch Siri on your phone all day if you wanted.
Jarvis Uprising. It's a whole movie.
Jarvis Uploading.
Oh God, Marvel, don't take this idea too seriously. But
do it. Just burn it down.
So let us know what you think of Infinity War. We're not terribly excited, but we're definitely going to watch it and just
we're in a very tight spot with this one.
If we'll be looking for bits of good story elements, and
right.
If it's there, I'm going to do my best to give credit to it, but don't expect to give me credit for. And then he threw it into the laser machine and it exploded, and then he punched him really hard. How do they defeat Thanos? That's going to be my biggest issue.
They don't have Magneto to crush his skull in, so.
Well, how did they kill Ultron? That's another problem I had with Age of Ultron. They did 3 lasers at once.
I think they just wore him down, and then they managed to mop up all the rest of the robots that he was controlling.
They used 3 lasers at the same time.
Yeah.
So they reached level.
Well, I know they at least got him down to just one screwed up drone, and I was like, so is he dead now, or how's this work?
I thought he was in the internet.
Yeah, right.
He'll get the Tesla Model 3 factory to build another version of him. Anyway, let us know what you think. What's going to happen, or if you're excited. You probably all are.
Probably more than we are. We're just over here we are so tired.
We're so done with this, and yet we know it's going to keep on happening.
It's going to keep going.
Don't you think this might be the time? I know we keep saying this, but I'm holding out that this will be the time people start going, okay, what's going to... I don't care.
The time for that
comic books got to a part where they got too elaborate and too complicated, and people stopped being interested in them. Yeah. When's that going to happen to movies? When they stop getting followable.
That's the problem. It just keeps going, and then it becomes an overly aggressive problem that they can't fix because they've come this far.
Yeah.
The only way you could fix any
they could never wrap this up though. That's the issue.
Yeah, exactly. The only way you could wrap it up is if you just burned it all to the ground, and then
what if it just ended? What's so crazy about that idea? If it just ended? Did it. The movie's over. That's the MCU, everyone. Bye.
Yeah.
Moving on to other things.
Because no one would accept that.
No, that's too much. It's like a demonic, money-hungry Energizer bunny that just keeps... The MCU just keeps going, and they're never going to stop because we're going to keep watching. All right,
guys. Those are our thoughts. Feel free to comment and all that good stuff. Tell us why you think we're wrong. We'll tell you the same. I'm Danny Movie Man. Have a good day.
Take care.